Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the 11th Ward zoning meeting excuse me. I have the address in front of me. It's the address of the property. 28 something here. I'm sorry.
It's 2833 to 55.
58
57.
33 to 2857 South Canal Street. We've had a meeting about this property previously with this developer. He's gone back and changed his plans. And we have with us today his attorney, Mark Kupiak, who's going to explain the reason for the new meeting, and if there's a new request for different zoning, we'll also be able to see the plans that they're going to present as well. I need the power, sorry. Otherwise, everybody will be disconnected. And it is Tuesday, August 13th at 7:09 now, so I'm gonna hand it over to Mark Kupiak. Mark, I have also the plans that I'm gonna put up while you're speaking as well. We have along with Mark is the developer, Daniel Kong, who is going to be here to answer questions as well. So thank you all for joining us. Hold on one second here and I'll get my screen shared. Okay. And Mark, you are up.
Thank you, Alderwoman. My name is Mark Kupiak. Can you hear me okay?
We can hear you loud and clear.
Good, thank you. I'm the attorney for the applicant, developer Daniel Kong, and we have Daniel at the virtually at the meeting tonight.
Hi, everyone.
Okay, and the property, as we said, for simplicity, we're describing it tonight as 2833-57 South Canal. A little bit of a strange narrow parcel, and it runs from 28th Place down to 29th Street along Canal Street. We were actually before the community once before with a proposal to build 4 single-family homes on this site. And actually, I guess I'll start with the first item. Our proposal has changed given the construction costs and inflation and interest rates, et cetera. The single-family homes on this site are no longer doable. So we're switching it, similar project, 4 buildings, but would be 4 2-flats. So the rendering you have up there is a rendering of one of those 2-story 2-flats that we would propose to build on this site. And these would be 4 individual buildings, and each building would be built separately with a separate building permit. And at the point they actually go in for permits, each building would have a separate house number. And you'll see a little bit later, the site plan would show actually 2 of those buildings would be facing north, and 2 of those buildings. Well, actually, Daniel, I'm going to let you describe that site plan. How's that?
That's okay. All right.
And I'll just do the zoning. The main reason we're here is originally we were going to rezone this from manufacturing. And of course, we're doing this rezoning because Daniel's not interested in developing in a manufacturing district because the uses are very limited. You know, it's factories, it's commercial, it's industrial, not the type of property he's experienced in. And of course, we're across the street from residential, and he thinks a residential development would be more in tune with the neighborhood, more compatible. And the reason we're here today is originally we were asking for an R4 to build 4 single-family homes, but again, not financially doable. So we're coming back for a zoning change, asking for an R5, so we can in fact do 2 flats instead of 4 2-flats instead of the single-family homes. And I think with this, I'm going to turn it over to Daniel to describe how these 4 2-flats would be situated on this property. Daniel, can you take over for me?
Sure, no problem. Thank you, Attorney Mark. You're absolutely right. Bridgeport used to be a manufacturing, area, but nowadays it's no longer the case. So we're thinking about building something residential to fit the needs of the neighborhood. So it's a 2-unit building with a finished basement. So as you can see at the corner of 28th Place and Canal, so you see a one building. So it have 2 family can live there and plus a finished basement. And then next to the building, you see a 2-car garage. Probably at the southwest corner, 2-car garage. In front of the garage, you see 2-car outdoor parking on the driveway. So tandemly, you can park your car inside the garage or outside the garage. So that's typical one building of 2 units. And the whole development is we're going to build 4 2-flat buildings.
How many total units then? That'd be 8 units?
Yeah, 8 units, you're right, yeah. Because 4 buildings of 2-flat. So 8 units. So 8 family can live there, yeah.
So I'm just, because the renderings are so small like this, on the screen, I'm just scrolling down for everybody to see.
Okay.
So we're on Canal Street.
Yeah.
And we just went through, so that starting from the north, we've got
North,
that first. So the entrance to the building then is here on Canal Street, right? This is the entrance.
Correct.
Okay. And if we go down to the next building, this also has a Canal Street entrance.
You're right.
Is this building bigger than the other one? No, it's the same size.
The same size, yeah. Pretty much identical, yeah. So
So-
you have 2 buildings at the corner of the street from Canal and 28th Place or Canal and 29th Street. See that West 29th Street and Canal? Yep.
Yeah.
And
So
then 2 buildings in between.
So it's all 4 buildings are gonna front Canal Street. All of the entrances to the buildings are on Canal Street.
You're right, yes.
Okay. And then there's garages. Every building has 4 spaces, ostensibly, right?
Correct. So 2 indoor, 2 outdoor parkings.
Right, so the anticipation is that 1 unit would have a garage spot and the tandem outside pad.
You're right, yes.
Okay. Okay, do you want to move on to the next, and then this one, this building here, what am I looking at on, right here?
Yep, keep scrolling down.
So, South Canal Street and 29th Street, this is
Yep.
this is the same one as this corner here, right?
Correct. It's at the corner, yeah.
Okay, so you're just giving a different look at this floor plan. Okay,
Yes.
okay, I'm gonna keep going down here unless there's anything that you want to point out so we can look at a little bit more of your plans here. So this is the basement.
This is the basement, yep.
So is the basement for the
First floor.
for the first floor? So they'll have bigger units essentially, because they'll have a finished basement.
Exactly, yes.
It's kind of like a faux duplex. I don't know if you can technically, I don't know what the technical terms are.
Yeah, it's a duplex apartment, you can call it. So
Okay.
first floor and the basement, yeah.
Okay, so this is the first floor layout, which would have the finished basement.
Correct. So it's combined of 3 bedroom, 2 full bath, and 1 living room. And then at the northeast corner, you have kitchen. Yeah.
Okay. And then this would be the second floor, which
Second
is,
floor, correct.
looks like an identical
Yeah,
floor,
you,
pretty much. Okay.
so 3 bedroom, 2 full bath, yeah. So
And
you are
this,
seeing at the back of the building, so you have a tiny outdoor deck. So you can do barbecue over there, yeah, or plant some flower, yeah.
so this is the rear elevation for the building that is
For the
closest to 29th and Canal. And then this
Yeah.
is left side and right side elevation of the 29th and Canal building.
You're right, yeah.
So left side and right side, if I'm looking at the building, these are the ones that are going to be on the north and the south.
Um, the deck at the rear of the building is facing east.
Right. So where the stairs are, the deck, that is facing east. So
Correct.
this is facing south then, here, on the
Mhm.
right. Okay. Okay,
So that will be the front elevation. If you're standing on Canal Street facing east, you will see that the front elevation.
okay.
Yep.
And this is the front of every single building.
Correct.
Okay, I'm gonna go and just make sure I'm not missing anything from the chat. If people have questions. Now would be the time. I can go back through if anybody missed any of these renderings. Really doesn't matter what was there before because that's not what the developer is proposing at this point. This is different, obviously, because these are multifamily versus single family homes. I think you got really creative with the parking. I'm interested in hearing from the community on their thoughts on that. The driveways off of Canal do take parking spaces off of the street. But this is also, I think, a creative way to create parking spaces for the families that would be living in this structure. If anybody has questions on in the Zoom, you can take yourself off of Zoom. Just go ahead and let me know that you've got a question, and then we can have Daniel or Mark answer the questions. I will say, as I said on our previous zoning meeting before this one, there is a church celebration that's going on in the community where many of the neighbors that live in this area are attending. They did reach out to me and ask me not to make any final decisions until they've had a chance to review the presentation tonight. And if they have questions, I'll come back. But they were a lot of the same people who participated in the initial proposal for single family homes. So just to put that out there. So if anybody who is in the Zoom, Chuck or Dave, if you've got questions, please feel free to ask now. Or Cheryl. I'm just trying to see everybody who's on the Zoom right now. Or Matt in the room.
I think the only question for me is probably gonna come up when you regroup with the more local neighbors,
Mhm.
which is if a curb cut is being added for the parking solution, which is pretty clever.
Mhm.
How heavily used are those public spots? Like, is it just basically removing public spots and replacing with off-street spots? That's the only question that would happen. It's probably gonna come up with any
Yeah,
conversations from members. on
yeah. So just to make sure, if you guys couldn't hear, because Matt's holding down the back of the room right now. The comment or question was just about the curb cuts for the driveways, which we agree, I think is a creative way to create parking. I was really wondering how you were gonna be able to get parking. That was gonna be my biggest concern with this. So I think it is a creative way, but the question was with the curb cuts that you're opening up and you're taking spots out, how heavily used are those parking spaces today? I will say, because I drive that direction quite a bit. I have an aunt that lives on 32nd and Canal, so I'm driving that route quite a bit. I very often see cars parked over there. And you know, across the street on the west side of Canal, there are a lot of multifamily units, buildings as well. And I imagine that, you know, those are parking spaces that are kind of at a premium. So Daniel, how many feet are you gonna be taking up with the driveways? You have a total of 1, 2. So 2 driveways. I can't tell how wide these are though. That's, if I'm looking at that right, that's 36 feet. So a total of 72 feet. That's like, that's a lot of, that's probably, what's standard car length parking space?
Yes.
It's a typical two-car garage. So you can imagine that just maybe double of two-car garage of the size.
Okay,
So one parking spot, as I know, typical one will be 8 feet by 18 feet.
uh-huh,
So that will be comfortably park one car over there. It could be as large as full-size SUV. So yeah.
okay, so this is gonna take up 4 parking spaces, essentially, the
Okay.
equivalent of 4 parking spaces. But
You're right.
you're creating spaces for what, 16 cars? Yeah,
Yep.
okay. Daniel, have you purchased this property yet, or is this contingent upon zoning?
It's contingent on the zoning change, so not yet. So yeah.
Okay. Any other questions from anybody? I'm trying to think of other things that might come up. Yeah, like I said, we're recording this, so I will post it, and then, you know, I may host some of the residents in the area who couldn't make it tonight. Daniel, I may just call you back and have you, you know, maybe answer some more of their questions if they've got them. I imagine they will, because this is quite a bit more dense than your original proposal. I will say, I think your original plan had every one of the single family homes had its own garage, so there were still gonna be 4 garages. But I think that you didn't have the additional spots, so I wanted to call that out while we've
Okay.
got this on the recording. So my point being, I feel like this is actually taking up fewer spots on the street than the original proposal. I'd have to look at it, but I feel like there were more spots taken up on the street than that last proposal. Now, the property itself it's a funny shaped lot, just to note for everybody that's on here. It's a short lot, so this is 41 feet deep. By, what is it, 66 wide? Is that what that is? Am I reading that?
No, it's a 200. Let me see. Let me give you the exact figure. 265 feet long. Yeah. 265 feet long.
By what?
By 40. '41, I believe. Let me see. 40. Yep,
Yeah,
41. 41, yeah.
So will you go all the way back? So there's a ramp there in the back of that lot. Does the ramp come down? Is that part of the property?
No,
To-
no, it's not part of the property.
Okay. So this is not a very deep lot at the end of the day. It's 265 long, nothing's more than 41 feet.
Yeah.
And then you're leaving room back here for like a little backyard too then. There's
Correct.
a deck and then a little bit of yard space, which abuts the railroad tracks.
Yep, it will be next to the railroad track, correct.
And are these going to be like condominiums? Are you renting these? What's the situation with how you're going to market these?
Oh yeah, we pretty much market it to everyone who love the two flat. So
Uh-huh.
typical will be one family living in one of the unit. Either they can rent out another unit that will help the mortgage payment, or there may be in-law living upstairs. Yeah.
So you're choosing to sell these. If so you're gonna sell these as, how will you sell these to people?
Oh yeah, we sell it to every kind of buyer.
So one building has 4 units in it, right?
One building have 2 units,
Oh, I'm sorry, one building has 2 units. It's
and
2
there are 4 buildings. Yes.
So
So you are-
Daniel, if I could interrupt, Mark Kupiec here. So
Yep.
you've got 4 buildings, so you're anticipating that you would sell each building to an individual buyer. So you would
Yes.
sell each 2 flat to 4 different buyers, correct?
Correct.
Thank you, Mark. You said it in a way that I could not articulate. That was my question.
Yeah,
Are you gonna sell individual apartments and then the duplex, or is it individual buildings? So you're anticipating selling the
to
one
4
unit?
buyers. Let's say this way. Yeah, to 4 buyers. Yeah.
Okay.
4 individual buyer of 4 building. Yeah, because each building is going to have 1 PIN number.
Okay,
So 1 PIN number of 2 units.
do you have any sense of what you think you're gonna, like the ballpark of what you would market that for?
Yeah, in light of current construction costs, interest rate really high, we anticipate, in order to make a profit or make the project doable, something like we're starting from 900,000. Yeah, that will be our starting point. Yeah.
Okay, that's gonna be the ballpark. Okay, any other questions from anybody in the room or on the Zoom? I'm gonna check the chat real quick to make sure I'm not missing anything. Nothing in the chat. Okay, like I said, I'm gonna post this video probably tomorrow, and I'm gonna make sure that I'm responding to the folks that weren't able to make it to the meeting today. And give them the opportunity to raise any concerns or issues they might have before I make a decision as to whether or not I support the zoning change to the RM5 for this new plan. So I anticipate leaving the window open for a couple of weeks, so to the end of the month. And at that point, Daniel and Mark will get back to you. In the
Yep.
meantime, we'll reach out to you if other questions come up, if there's a need for us to sit down with some of the residents to answer some other questions. I will let you know.
Okay, sure,
Okay.
sure, definitely, yes.
All right, great. Well, I appreciate everybody joining us. I know a couple of you sat through the first one as well, so thank you for, as usual, participating and caring about what's happening in our neighborhood. We will share this information with everybody, and we will also share the renderings as well. All right, everybody, thank you very much. Have a good night.
Alderwoman, thank you
you.
very much. And Zoe, thank you very much with setting up the meeting. We appreciate that.
No problem, Mark. Have a
Thank
good
you so
night.
much. Yeah,
Bye.
bye-bye, everyone. Yeah.